Thanks for joining us on TVC News at 1. We're staying in Plateau State, where residents are out to vote chairmen and councillors for the 17 local government areas of the state. Our reporter, Funam Joshua, who is monitoring the polls in the southern part of the state, says the exercise is going on peacefully and orderly as voters turned out en masse to cast their votes within the election guidelines provided. The officials of the Plateau State Independent Electoral Commission arrived at various polling units early and commenced the exercise at 8 a.m. prompt. Security operatives, party agents, and election observers, both local and international, are all on the ground monitoring the exercise. Well, let's turn attention now to Rivers State, where the police say they have taken adequate measures to forestall further outbreak of violence in the local government areas. The police in the state earlier today embarked on a confidence-building patrol led by the Commissioner of Police, Bala Mustafa. The team was in Obiakpo and Port Harcourt City local government areas to assess the situation. All right, continue to monitor the situation in Rivers State and bring you update. Let's now turn to Osun State, where the Inter-Party Advisory Council has urged the federal government not to halt allocations to local governments in the state, stating that the process to elect executives is already underway. A chairman of IPAC, Victor Akonde, while reading a communique signed by political parties, explained that the Osun State Independent Electoral Commission had fixed a date for the polls before the federal government granted autonomy. The political parties also passed a vote of confidence on OSEC, stating that the state electoral umpire has demonstrated commitment to conducting transparent, credible, free and fair election. The state chairman of OSEC, Ashim Abioye, promised that the state electoral umpire will comply all through with extant laws in the conduct of the polls and admonished the federal government not to withhold the local government allocations.
We are in tandem with the extant law. So for this reason, we are back on the federal government of Nigeria, as agreed by all political parties and all political stakeholders of Osun State. There is no need for federal government to withhold the allocation of local government in Osun State.
Since we had started the process, we had commenced the process, we are on the right track. And that Osun State is an exception when it comes to the issue of withholding local government allocation, because we are already in the process. We could not do otherwise, because if we are to shift the date of the election backward, if we are to draw it nearer, we will be going against the decision of the Supreme Court in OSEC versus Action Congress, and we will be going against the provision of OSEC law and even the Electoral Act. So as it is today, OSEC is on the right path, and there is no justification for withholding local government funds that are accruing to Osun State.
Away from politics now, let's turn to other stories. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security has expressed concerns about the potential impact of the European Union's deforestation regulation on Nigeria's economy, particularly in agricultural sectors like cocoa, rubber, and timber. Speaking at the inauguration of the National Task Force on EUDR, he emphasized the urgent need for collaboration to meet requirements and avoid market losses in the EU. Loma Oyemachi reports.
The inauguration commenced. Key stakeholders in Nigeria's agricultural value chains gathered to address the challenges posed by the EUDR, which aims to combat deforestation.
The European Union is indeed not only a major trade partner, but also the loss of the market due to non-compliance with EUDR presents a great threat to the cocoa, rubber, soya, and timber value chains that constitute 80%, 7%, 7%, and 5% respectively of the 523 million euro export trade.
The minister highlighted the importance of forest mapping and traceability systems, noting that Nigeria's forests have not been properly mapped since 1959, a critical requirement for EUDR compliance.
It is pertinent to note that mapping of our forest areas that was last achieved in 1959 and need for a national traceability system across our agricultural value chains is of utmost importance. There are also various companies and state actors working tirelessly on meeting the deadlines set by EU, either directly or indirectly. We are also aware that EU has funding opportunities the NTF can explore to ensure mapping of our forested areas.
The minister also called for exploring alternative markets like China and Russia in case compliance is not achieved by December 2024.
Ghana, one of the world's largest exporters of cocoa, has already set the ball rolling by mapping 1.2 million farms so far and has said it can start tracking cocoa beans from farms to ships next month. We must therefore make efforts to ensure compliance, even as we are determined to exploit other markets outside Europe such as China, Russia, Belarus.
8 key agricultural value chains are at risk, but the National Task Force is determined to create a unified national strategy to meet the EU's deforestation-free requirements before the deadline.
The minister remains optimistic that with strong cooperation, Nigeria will meet the EUDR requirements, safeguarding the lives of millions of farmers and also increasing Nigeria's agricultural exports. Uloma Oyemachi, TVC News, Abuja.
All right, let's turn attention now back to our coverage of local government elections in Plateau State, where in that state, election is ongoing to elect chairmen and councillors for 17 local government. Let's bring in our reporter, Funam Joshua, who's standing by to give us update. Funam, what more can you tell us at this moment? Give us update on how the exercise is going so far.
Thank you very much. The exercise is currently going on peacefully and orderly as expected within the 17 council areas of the state. The electoral body, the PLESEC officials arrive at the various polling units. They've arrived at the stipulated 8 o'clock in the morning and commence the exercise. And then following the several engagements from stakeholders to residents to electorates to come up and cast their votes in a peaceful and orderly manner, we are seeing this, achieving a positive response, because the electorates that came out, are organizing themselves in an orderly manner, going about the usual, duty of the day, casting their votes. So generally, with what we are hearing across the 17 council areas, the exercise is moving on peacefully. Although there are some challenges, like here in Wasi and some other places we've learned the capturing machine, some of them, are developing, problem. So instead of that, they've resolved to be using the manual, process, which, they have to seek the consent of the electorate. So far, this is a challenge they are experiencing, but the exercise is going on peacefully with what we are hearing, according to as expected.
And just behind you, Funam, I see a queue or a gathering of women, and it looks like they're in their large number. Talk to us about the voter turnout.
Yes, in fact, this is one of the election here that it's highly commended from the turnout, as you can see, and you've just said it, like there's a large turnout of residents across the state, coming out to vote, So this, like I said, is one of the election that, was highly commended, or is being commended across because of the turnout, Unlike the previous one that we've seen, voters apathy, but this one there's large turnout, as you can see, like you said, the residents are still trooping to come and cast their vote. So there is serious improvement in this election in respect to that.
And when is the exercise expected to end, to close? And then also talk to us about security.
We're hoping that this will continue, even after the election. The message, the call is for residents to continue to behave and to do everything within the guidelines provided by the electoral body, and to prioritize peace, also to make sure that whatever action they are coming to come up with, it's in the interest of the state.
All right, thank you so much, Funam. We'll continue to get update from you subsequently. A reporter live for us in Plateau State, bringing us updates on local government elections holding there. Let's now turn attention to Borno State, where the state government has signed a memorandum of understanding with the World Food Programme aimed at providing assistance to victims of the recent flood that has affected over 1 million people in Maiduguri. Senior reporter Jesse Tafida has details.
This high-part delegation is led by the Executive Director of the World Food Programme, Sidney McCain. Their visit is simple. They are here to further enhance partnership with the state government and chart a way forward on how best to provide assistance to flood victims in the state.
It's way beyond saving lives, but now it's changing lives. We can no longer continue to give emergency food and not look to the long term and be able to feed people in a sustainable manner. So that's why WFP is here. We look forward to signing this MoU, and we look forward to seeing a new and bright future, not just in agriculture, but a new and bright future in the way you feed people here in Nigeria. So we're very honored, very grateful to be a part of this, and we look forward to a very long partnership with you.
Governor Babagana Zulum is happy with the visit. He commends the efforts of the World Food Programme for their continued support to the state over the years, especially providing succor to victims of the 13-year insurgency.
We have a strong belief that we will recover and come out better on the other side. This is the most important belief that gives us resilience to continue to do our best. Provision of food, potable water, hygiene and sanitation, and provision of health have been the main issues we are dealing with after people are rescued. World Food Programme was very supportive during this period. What we need is to see how we can get support from the World Food Programme in terms of high-yielding varieties crops. This is also very important. We need additional support. And let me use this opportunity once again to commend the World Food Programme for all the good works that it has been doing in Borno State.
The state governor also solicited for more assistance from the WFP to further support other victims of the flood from 5 local council areas.